Hey everybody, thanks for joining us for Politically Incorrect Knitters. I am Deplorable Knitter. This is Ann Pinkova, as always. Hey guys, thanks for joining us on Friday night. It's been a long day here, sorry. Before we get going, we're sponsored by Chicken Lady Fiber Arts. She's in the comments. Hey Chicken Lady.
Hi,
thanks for joining us, all our friends out there. Yeah, so Ann has some.
I do. You can go to chickenladyfiberarts.com and get 20% off your order of $50 or more with our code PIK Kung Pao, as in Kung Pao chicken. You can get beautiful yarns such as these. And yeah, check it out. Sign up for her newsletter. She has lots of extra stuff coming up. And she has some Halloween colorways. She has the new Puritanical Fun Run colorway. The Party Like It's 1621, which is the year of the first Thanksgiving, so we're all yucking it up.
Mr. Deplorable has said that in no uncertain terms shall I procure any more yarn. So,
but it's kind of like your colors, though.
I know, it's my favorite. But with the renovations, it's been revealed how much yarn I'm actually in possession of. And so I don't know. You know how it is.
Well, for those of you who are not under yarn diets or may just break anyways, do check out Chicken Lady's selection. Really, and again, use our code PIK Kung Pao for 20% off your order of $50 or more.
Yes. And Chicken Lady is fantastic. We adore her. So check her out.
Oh, I should say this is F around and find out.
Yeah, it's an appropriate colorway.
Oh,
so yeah.
Oh no, she's paused.
I wasn't saying that for gifts. I was just saying, Yeah, no. Oh no. Is it me or is it you?
I think you're good now.
There was just a Spinnerson. Okay. We changed our internet provider. It should be better. Whatever. Anyhow, so what's our giveaway yarn? Did you show that?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Did I miss it?
Sorry, I am off my game. Yes, the
Okay.
giveaway, month of September. Comment below once the video is finished. For Eastern Bluebird, which is on the DK sock base.
I love her DK sock. Just in case you haven't tried it. It's like really lovely and it's lovely. Oh no. I don't know if it's me or if it's you.
No, I can hear you the whole time. But yes, it is beautiful yarn. Definitely check it out. And also, as we said last week, that there are some of her yarn bases that she is discontinuing. So do check those out. Some of them are in the last chance section, so there's an extra discount on those. So definitely you're going to want to see them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So very good. So what's new?
What's happening? A few things.
Okay.
No, it's been a week, guys. But I know that through kind of difficult times that there's some back and forth between people who just like stop knitting and kind of focus, or other people like me who do a bit of stress knitting. I worked this week on a project that I'm not going to show yet. It's pretty cool though. But yeah, I knit that a bunch. My quilt pattern, I'm really, really hoping it's out soon. And yeah, really want it done by the end of this week. I'm not sure if that will happen, but I'm hoping for it. So yeah, excited for that. And I am working on my sweater still. Yes.
Did you say you wanted it done by the end of this week?
Sorry, not as in tomorrow.
Okay, I was going to say, it's Friday, right?
in the next week. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Very good.
Yeah, just to make that clear. But yeah, I went out and took a lot of photos of it, and I'm very proud of it.
Mm-hmm. Have you posted those on Instagram? Because I only saw the other one, the puzzle box.
I only posted the puzzle box pictures because I wanted to kind of save the nice ones from the knit coffin quilt for the launch. Um, but yeah, and there are posts about both the knit coffin quilt and my sparrow cowl set on my blog to link for easier ways to find them if anybody is interested
Mm-hmm.
for those. 'Cause I think they're pretty cool patterns. I think people should knit them, and I think that'd be real neat. But yes, this one is coming out soon, and I'm very pleased.
It's very exciting. I'm
I
happy
know.
for you.
But yeah, the the other secret thing I'm working on is it's it's one of those things where it's like I thought I did this because I thought it would be easy, and it's more complicated than I think, but we're going to persevere. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, and otherwise, I am working on my sweater, and yeah, I think it's coming along great. I've started with the sort of solid stripes, but I'm not sure about them because they're right on the boobs, and they're going to be right on the first part of the sleeves too. So yeah, I'm not sure. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
I haven't cut yarn from it yet because I kind of want to knit.
See?
Yeah, I think it'll
Yeah.
be all right. I mean, let me just slide one sleeve on to show off. But yeah, the sizing is really good.
Nice.
The it's a here, excuse me as I move up. It's a fabled knitwear pattern, and here, look at my chest for a bit. Um, it's a fabled knitwear pattern, and it's kind of like it's the way that the sizes are, the way everything else is great. Like the sleeves are turning out fantastic, but there is a little bit of that. Just trust me, bro. From the way, and I'm looking at this, after I'm painstakingly looking at my own pattern, and the testers have been awesome, telling me like, hey, numbers don't match up here. I'm like, oh crap, I'm doing everything, and I'm looking at her pattern as I'm knitting it. I'm like, huh, that's kind of I think you're missing something right there. I'm a little confused. uh, like this is not clear at all. I think you're just kind of assuming that I know what you're saying here, and I don't. And anyways, oh, thanks, Lynn. Um, but anyways, so yeah, I've been working on this, and it's been fun.
Nice.
And yeah, I hope it turns out. I hope that it has kind of a sporty vibe, I guess.
It's what? Yeah, sporty vibe. Yeah.
Yes, I'm hoping.
Cute. I like it.
I hope it's sporty and not weird.
I mean, it can be a little bit of both, can it?
Can be, yeah.
I
Weird
think
in a
that's okay.
good way, I hope. But
Cool.
anyways, yeah. So that is all in knitting world. What about you?
I have nothing to show for this week. I literally just cast this on while Ann and I were getting ready to go live. My one student in knitting, the very one student I have, is making this adorable hat. I don't know where I got the pattern from. It's something I had around, so I shared it with her. And it's a cabled, it's those little cables. The one, it's where you have the one that goes across and then they stack them. I'll show you guys once I get it going. But I figured, oh, since my student's making it, I should make one with her because that's kind of, she's doing a great job and she's really powering right along. But, it's kind of fun to have a buddy when you're working on stuff.
Yeah, and
but
also,
it's
I mean, if she has any questions, you've done it recently. Not that you probably wouldn't know what was going on anyways, but still.
Yeah, no, I was like, kind of like, oh, what am I going to do with one student? But it's been a lot of fun. Today I was looking, she was knitting and she was starting the cable section. So I explained it to her. And then I was kind of, you know how when you're like establishing a pattern, I was like reading her the thing. I'm like, okay, now you're going to purl 2, now you're going to knit 6. And I'm like, okay, this is what, and then I was reading her, the different options of like patterns of different things we can make. And I found some ridiculous things. And she messed up like a whole row. I had to help her fix because I had her like laughing so hard. I was a bad influence. It was so much fun. And then in crochet, we were making jellyfish, and I had 2 students finish their jellyfish, and so they're starting on the axolotls that we're gonna make. And the girls that were having trouble last week really like. One of them came in and she didn't understand how increases in. She was reading the pattern as like 1 single crochet, and then however many the number was, she was doing in the next stitch. So instead of like when you increase in crochet for like a circle, you do 1 and then you increase, and then on the next row you do 2 stitches and then you increase. But she was doing 1 stitch increase, and then on the next row she did 1 stitch and then she increased 2 stitches, and then on the next row she did 1 stitch. So she had this like weird ruffly, and so I was like, okay, you have to come sit by me. And I'm like, it's not punishment. And so we worked together, and all of a sudden you could just see the whole thing clicked. And I was like, yes, now you're good. You're going to be great. It's fabulous. And I was really, it's exciting. It's fun.
Moving on from here.
What?
No, just that,
yeah.
She can move on now.
Yeah. She finally got it and she was excited. And a mystery book club was a blast. Usually we play Mafia at the end of mystery book club because we discuss the book, and then we like have, I don't know, we have this boy, he's so funny. He's the only boy in the class, and he's like, I think that the baby is actually a midget in disguise, and that's going to be the murderer. And I'm like, I don't think that's right. But we do a leaderboard, and I'm like, so if that's what you guess and you're right, I will give you 5 candy bars instead of 1, because that's so out of the left field that if it's right, you win.
It's an Agatha Christie book, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think Agatha is. I don't think she plays that way.
But it was just, and the whole class got off track. But my classes, if you can't tell, are completely unstructured, and so we did that, and then I got this book because we usually play Mafia, and the kids like it, but Mafia gets old after a while, and they all know each other really well because it's a homeschool group and they've been together for a long time, so they can tell who's lying. And so like some rounds it'll be like the first round and they're like, oh, so and so did it, because they'll look at the look on their face, right? So somebody I work for actually suggested that I try Myrtle. Okay. And it's they're logic puzzles. So you like get the information and then there's clues and then you chart it out. And so like I made a bunch of copies and like handed them out to the kids and like put them in teams so they can work together on it and stuff. And some of them they could not figure out how to graph it. They were just super confused. And some of them like totally got it. And it was just, I really like the fact that we do the co-op and the kids and it's a lot of fun. Emily knows about Myrtle. Yeah, I had never heard of it until one of my employers told me. And I looked it up and I'm like, that looks fun. And I made copies so that I could maybe do the book with my kids, like read them the clues and the different things and see if they can figure it out. But so we'll see how that goes. But anyway, so that's my week. I didn't knit anything. I mean, if you can tell, I look like a hostage because the renovations are in full effect. We're going to change the lighting in this room, and hopefully I won't be against a blank wall next time, but I don't know.
Lighting is going to improve. It's going to be a single light bulb right in front of your face.
Don't even give the husband ideas because he would think that was hilarious and he would do it. So, no. Yeah, so life has been busy here. We've just been persevering and working, and I didn't work much this week, actually. But that's okay.
You've been busy.
So that's what I got. I'm going to try to get the ribbing of this hat done while we chat so that I can do my cables and then bring in my hat next week. So it'll be fun. Emily says there's more editions of Myrtle. Yeah, because I figured because this is volume 1. But it's fun. The kids didn't quite get it. So if they like it, we'll try it again next week. If not, they also wanted to try an escape room. They have some that you can like do as a group. So we'll see. I just figure it's more fun. Makes it interesting. So
I guess on to the news.
Yeah, before we go to the news, because I know that there's huge public news, but I saw a little knitting story that was kind of like not a big deal. I wanted to ask your opinion on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I got an email from Whimsical Wood Yarn. She's the one that always has the all of her yarns have the names that are like late ass, dumbass, like her names are all those like goofy. But apparently she was getting roasted on Craft Snark because Shopify has the option for you to tip on the store when you check out. And they were like absolutely flaming her for having that on her thing. And I wanted to know if that's like I think Lynn has the tipping option on hers. I think it's a Shopify thing.
Yeah. And I know like websites like Kickstarter and other things that they have a tip option. And I want to say that it's for the website itself, though you might have it so you can give it to the creator directly as well.
Well, it says like, do you want to give an extra tip to the team at Chicken Lady Fiber Arts or whatever?
Right.
But they were just absolutely flaming her on it. And the person that was complaining about it, she went on and she was like, oh, I didn't know that was even on there. I'm going to see if I can turn it off. And like the person who made the post never even spoke to her. And it's like, so you just wanted to complain.
Yeah.
Like tip culture has gotten really crazy. I won't lie. Like it is. But also, like, just don't tip. You know what I mean? It's not like, yeah, but like if I go pick up a pizza, I generally don't tip them. I don't know if that's the thing or not, but here in New York, Ann and I were talking about minimum wage in different states, and here in New York, minimum wage is wicked high. So I don't know. I don't feel like I should have to tip people who are making, $20 an hour. Is that? I don't know.
Ooh, Teresa.
Oh, Erica Kirk is giving a speech. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I will check that out in a minute.
Yeah, we don't mind if y'all go to see it, but yeah, we'll have to watch it later.
Yeah. Minimum wage for a server in Wyoming for a server is less than $3. Yeah, but in a pizza parlor, they're not considered servers because they're cooking.
Right.
So they must be making minimum wage.
I know that it used to be for restaurants here. I don't know if it currently is, that if you have combined tips and wages, and if that comes to minimum wage, or it goes over minimum wage, then you're fine. But if your tips are under what would bring your total salary up to minimum wage, then the company would have to pay the difference.
Yeah, I don't know all the deals. My brother used to be a server, and I know that he used to make trash money. Like it was like $2, but I don't know. Minimum wage in New York State is $15.50 an hour.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
and for the tip option thing, it's like, look, that I know that there's a lot of people out there that like shill their Ko-Fis for everything or for emotional support or whatever. But also, I mean, like like on my website, there's a link that says, "Hey, you got a free pattern. If you want to pay for it, that's weird, but here you go." Like, I'm not,
Yeah.
call out my own hypocrisy here, but I'm like, I mean, I mentioned it now. Okay, sue me. But it's not like it's not a big push thing. Sometimes people want to
Right.
hand you money, and if you want to have a jar there to hand for people to hand you money, even if they don't hand you money, then there's no harm in the jar, I guess.
Right.
It's
Well,
not
and that's the
hurting.
thing. Like, um, Whimsical Wood was like it. I didn't know it was there. I didn't necessarily know if people were using it, and it kills me that. But if it was a creator of color, I'm sure that nobody would have said anything because you should be tipping her because she deserves more. Yeah, tipping is not compulsory. It's not. It's really it shouldn't be. But I was just curious. I saw that and I kind of thought it was funny. And I think I still have a coffee or Kofi linked on my link tree, but that I had that way back when I had all my patterns for free on my blog. So times change. It is what it is. Right after at Ravelry, people were like, "Hey, how can we like help you out?" Because I had gotten kicked off and everything. So I made one. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't know about you, but if somebody's like, "Hey, I want to give you some money," I've never been like, "No, no, that's okay," unless it's like weird. Like if it's a weird situation, but you want to give me some money for my knitting pattern, like we're good.
We're not
You get.
replying to baby daddy emails. That's not it. That's not the phrase even. Sugar daddy. That's it. Sorry. I don't even.
You can't tear us for tips for yarn, but they can go fund me for stupid stuff all the time. Yeah, exactly. I guess
And
that's kind of what.
y'all
Yeah,
could send super chats if you wanted to. You don't have to. The option is always there.
we don't need any, but thanks. um, no, and that was it's a stupid story, but with everything that's been being talked about this week, I feel like it was a little something else. Ooh, also there was a German commenter who made a no, who commented on our video last week, and she was saying that right now in Germany, there's over 20,000 posts that are up for election. And so, even though the number that we saw about the German right wing people dying was felt high, in the scope of how many seats they have open, it's really not. And she was also saying that other people from other parties have passed away during the election cycle. So I just wanted to mention that because it's not something that we had heard. So
Sure.
that's all. Because we were pretty surprised about all that. And then yes, it's still surprising, but also it's a lot less in the scheme of things than we realized. So that's all. The percentage, you know what I mean?
Right.
So okay. So onward.
Onward. Well, might as well say it because all the other news this week gets pushed aside. But as you know, our audience is surely aware that this past week at Utah Valley University, Charlie Kirk was shot while giving one of his talks while he was debating with college students that he was on tour. And that he was assassinated by a gunman who was apprehended this morning. Allegedly, it's not gone through with the trial yet.
Right. But the person that was apprehended did tell his father that he had done it. And so I mean obviously things come out in trials and whatever, but
Right.
Generally, Anyway.
Yeah. But yeah.
But Ann and I were texting when this was going on. She told me that because she was watching something and you saw it, and she texted me immediately. And we were kind of texting back and forth, and I felt sick about it. And it's been a couple of days, and I I think because of how he spoke to people and how he presented himself, I find it so, like, anytime anybody is shot and killed, it's horrible. But there's something about someone who was never actually mean or rude, or he truly wanted to engage with other people and try to change minds and try to be a good person. And you know, I just I think that that's part of why it's just so mind boggling, because there are people out there who absolutely say things like, left wing people are crazy and they should all be put in institutions, or but he never said anything that was, you know, divisive like that. He would say things like, you know, life begins at conception, which they
Mhm.
hate. And but
Right.
I think that the fact that he wasn't, I guess I didn't realize how polarizing he was because of how he presented himself.
Mhm.
Tree says everybody needs to watch Erica's speech when this is over. So much inspiration in the middle of her grief.
Mhm.
I can't even imagine. And her babies are so small. They're babies. They're
Mhm.
so small. I can't even.
Yeah, and
Um,
what I understand, they were present too.
yes. And that's awful.
Yeah.
Antifa doesn't exist according to the left. Yeah, and that's the kind of I don't know.
Yeah. It was, I don't know, it was pretty, I don't know, pretty deeply affecting for me too. And from someone who, okay, I didn't follow Charlie Kirk a lot because, okay, in general, he's a Christian conservative and he's out there talking about, Christian conservatism. And
Mm-hmm.
as someone who's been a part of that for a while, I'm like, okay, got it. So I wouldn't follow his stuff as closely. But it reminds me of I think Samuel Johnson said that men don't need to be informed as much as they need to be reminded. And that was something that he was very good at. Like, yes, you're talking about the day to day issues, but he's bringing it back to principle. He's reminding people, he's doing a lot of things. And something, and also, too, I mean, very, very important among young people as well. Often if I heard some Charlie Kirk clip or another, it was from my friend who got it from her brother who was in college and would listen to his stuff all the time, and his friends would listen to his stuff all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and some of the reaction too, I mean, everybody's upset, but the what really made, well, as you said, that he was very calm, he was very reasoned, um but I mean that there was so much of a testimony of his character that when he was shot, it was so shocking, that that you had people coming out of the woodwork for all over saying what a great guy he was. I mean, even some of the more gross types of the internet, who would say little insinuating remarks about him in Turning Point USA were suddenly all smiles and, oh, I guess I'll, you know, lead on in your name and stuff. And which is, weird. You gotta watch out for those people.
Yeah. You
Um,
always get the performative people that come out. That's
yeah.
not anything new.
Mhm. Yeah.
But
But, um, yeah, and the sort of attitude too that some people have, it's like, oh well, they shot the reasonable guy, so it's time to be unreasonable. It's like, no, he is
mhm.
he was effective because he was reasonable, which is why he was shot. He was out there having these conversations. He never stopped thinking that minds could be changed because they can actually be changed. Our entire past election cycle is people whose minds are changed. And it's not wise to abandon that in favor of being edgy and hating people because that's not effective. You're you're saying that it's like, oh well, we have to hole up by ourselves, and it's like, well, you were doing that anyways, so don't.
Mhm.
um anyways, but yeah, yeah, the
he
Sorry,
I
go ahead.
think because he was kind and compassionate, that he did have the ability to change people's minds, and that's why he was scary.
Right.
Because it's easy to look at someone who's out there screaming and ranting and say, well, they're crazy, I'm not going to listen to them. But when you have somebody who is measured and kind and empathetic, it is a lot different than, you know, he may not change everybody's mind, but he may change some people who are feeling concerned or like they don't fit in or whatever. And that's why,
Yeah,
you know.
and if you disagree with someone and you don't have anything rational to hate them about, you will jump to their irrational, which you find
Mhm.
with a lot of the people who are, celebrating his death.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, it I cannot believe that people are. My dad and I were talking, and he was like, if, Hillary got shot, I wouldn't celebrate it. I may not. If something happened, if Hillary Clinton had a heart attack and died, I wouldn't be sad, but I wouldn't be like, oh, this is the best day ever either. Like anytime
yeah,
somebody dies, it's not a good thing. It's not.
yeah. I
No matter
mean,
no matter how much you hate them, somebody in their life loves them. The grandkids.
mhm.
I mean, Bill probably doesn't, but you know what I mean. Somebody must, and so yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, even with Jimmy Carter dying recently, and like Jimmy
Mhm.
Carter was a terrible president who let a lot of terrible things happen in this country and kind of got some people killed. It's like, well, we're not partying about his death, though.
Right, and that's the thing, and that's a huge difference. Is that um, I'm not big into canceling people. I really, really think canceling people is stupid.
Mhm.
Um, but I have found something that I am not willing to let go through this situation, and it is the public school teachers in my area. There's a few of them in a couple of surrounding counties that have posted about how one of them posted about how the only good Nazi is a dead one, in reference to Charlie Kirk. Another one said that he was happy about it and F him and F Trump. And I it's hard because free speech is important, but also when you are representing a school district and people are entrusting their children to you, I
Mhm.
think that you need to have some decency, and you need to. This is my thing, and I know I'm going off on a slight off topic, but if you're willing to say that online in front of everybody, what are you saying in the classroom behind closed doors? If you're that comfortable,
Yeah, if
and
you
that's part of what bothers me about the whole teacher thing, especially because it,
yeah, if
I
you
mean,
are
we know there's issues.
the one in charge, kind of the example for the kids, and though it's not a phrase that is tossed around as much now, but it's like you're kind of the moral example for your classroom.
Mhm.
That part of education is moral framing, and we've seen in past years how much that has failed in our public education system. Not that I necessarily prescribe a strictly Christian framework for public schools, but I don't think it should be opposed to it, certainly.
Right.
And I think that general principles are something that should be taught. Um, but anyways, losing my thought. Yeah, but specifically, yeah, people who are in charge of children, people who are entrusted with teaching children, who, during the day are responsible for their welfare. And also, I think people in the nursing professions, if you are in charge of the sick and vulnerable, and I mean, children are in the vulnerable category, and you do not value human life, I think that is
Mhm.
a very dangerous thing. And if you're willing to undervalue human life because of an ideological difference, um, and that I don't know, the stuff that they've been saying about Charlie Kirk, which is simply not there at all, has been crazy.
Mhm. Um, I'm in a Facebook group, a Turning Point Facebook group now, that and they've been talking about the teachers and stuff. And one of the women in it is a nurse, and she said, I am ethically obligated to keep my opinion to myself. If somebody is asking me about a procedure or a diagnosis or something, and they say something along the lines of, what would you do in my situation? She said, I am not allowed to tell them. And I think that we need to bring some of that back. I mean, I was just talking about my co-op classes. I really enjoy the kids that I'm around and stuff, but I don't consider myself their friend. I want to be a like teacher. I want to be somebody that they want to be around, because I hope I'm a good example, but my job is not to be their friend. My job is to teach them and help them learn different things. And I think that that's part of the issue. I remember being a kid and not knowing, like, the only reason, like, I knew my teachers had kids is because I went to a private school, and so most of the teachers that taught there, their children attended the school, so I knew who belonged with who and stuff. But I didn't, like, besides that, I didn't know about their home life, and I didn't know about who they were married to. And once again, it was a little different because it was a private school, so it was small and more people were involved just because it was a small school. But it wasn't like the one guy that I posted about on Instagram. He was apparently a horrible teacher. He's apparently been a horrible teacher for like 20 years, and they know about it. And he pretty much said, you guys can't fire me because I'm tenured. And so he thinks he can do whatever he wants to. That guy should never be around children ever. So anyway, I'm just saying that everybody is entitled to their free speech, but when you have a job where you are in charge of people, or you should be neutral, because you don't know people's situations. You don't know what's going on in their lives. You don't know their beliefs, their religion, and your job is to teach them. It is not to indoctrinate them. It's not to, show off is he dead yet shirt in reference to the president who had a couple of assassination attempts. Like, it's a bad look. So anyway,
yeah,
I didn't mean to go off on that little tangent, but I because it's weird, because I don't want to cancel, but also I'm pretty sure that those teachers need to be fired. So I don't know where that makes me.
Well, it is weird. It is weird because it is so brazen for such an group of people to be dehumanized. And I mean, we've seen this. I mean, why are we here? But because Trump supporters were kicked off Ravelry, that, being a Trump supporter was so untenable. It was unimaginable. And you have had this vitriol.
Are you there?
Oh, yeah, I'm here.
Oh, no. Sorry. Okay, hey.
Hey.
Okay. I don't know what
happened. Anyways, I was just saying the vitriol that has been for years against Trump supporters, and even I would earlier than that there's some people who are, all mawkish and like, oh, well, don't you wish we should have just gone back to have, Trump is so divisive. We should have candidates like we used to that were so kind, like Romney and Bush and McCain. And I'm sorry, I was here and you were there. They were all called the devil. All of them. And I would not wish them back, certainly. But, we have.
Sorry, just wanted to highlight this because it's true. That's what I was trying to get at. You can say whatever you choose, but when you are in certain positions, I think you need to think about it.
Right.
That's all. Thank you.
Well, and it is a very,
Romney, yeah.
Romney. Yes, but no, that the media image it's like, here's Mitt Romney, who's the nicest man from, the primaries, was all like, oh yes, he's so nice and he's so reasonable. Second he's voted in the primary, he's evil. He's gonna put y'all back in chains. Just stupid stuff. And it doesn't matter. And that's one of the things I get upset about. People are like, oh, well, Trump, he's so loud. It's like, Trump is damn reasonable. And also, like, this whole like, oh, well, it's divisive. No, the media's going to go nuts about everybody. The media is going to go nuts about anything you want, about any conservative person, and they're going to get away scot-free. And we saw this in the wake of Charlie Kirk, that it was, like, oh, well, divisive right winger. And it was, articles.
Yes, I hate that everybody's like, oh, Trump ally, this and that, and blah blah. Yeah, he was an ally of Trump, but he was more than that. He was speaking out for like the family and Christians and American flags with eagles in front of them. I mean, that's what he was about, not just
And
Trump.
he was very much, okay, what's your goal? And he's be like, I want great things for the country. He wants great things for the future of the young people. That he was very open to talk about his faith, and that his faith was very important to him. It's what he wanted to be remembered by. And I mean, definitely, thinking of him this past week, that it's like, well, the Bible verse is about the fruit of the Spirit. And, fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, and temperance. And it's like, well, he showed them in the face of all of that. It's like, and he was an excellent ambassador for his faith, talking, days beforehand, well, even the morning of, talking about his faith. And again, very kind, very, again, kind, measured, and that had nothing against him that people could hate him for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It's easy to look back at someone and be like, oh my God, they were such a great person and whatever. But I always knew who Charlie Kirk was. I had his podcast in my podcast list. I would sometimes listen to him. I didn't always listen to him, but the more like this past few days that I've listened to different things, I feel like he really had the potential to be a huge leader. And I guess that, you know how it is when you kind of like know about somebody, but you kind of take them for granted almost. And I think that that's what it was, is that he was so smart. He was so well-spoken. It was so easy to listen to him that you kind of like, oh yeah, he's pretty good and stuff. But then you start thinking about it and you're like, he can influence people. He's kind. His greatest joy in life was to love his wife and his kids and God. And so when you take somebody like that, they're a threat, and it's hard to I don't know. I guess I just never clocked it because I don't know. It's easy to take it for granted. Sorry.
No, it is. It is. And like I said, only kind things said about him. And, well, he said too, when discourse ends, violence begins. And it is very much, that they, could only stop him by violence. He was, sorry, distracted by the chat. Anyways, yeah, lots of great things about him. Lots of people.
Yeah, Lizzie's got it though. You can expect that level of evil. I think that when you don't have that in you, it's always shocking when these things happen. Yeah. And I hope I never get to the point where I'm not shocked by it.
Yeah.
Because then that means that there's something happening in me that I'm not a fan of. So.
Yeah. And and the sort of video of his death coming out.
I accidentally saw it.
Yeah.
And like you said, his family was there. In the chat, somebody said that Glenn Beck was sobbing. His daughter was in the crowd. Like, there were so many people there. Jason Chaffetz was on the phone after it happened. He was like emotional and crying. He was talking about how they were going to go out after it was done, and his family being though. You know what? That's the one good thing about those kids being small.
Yeah.
Because they hopefully won't remember it. The older one may, the little one won't. But it gives me goosebumps. I would never want wish that on anybody's children. I don't care how horrible they are.
Mm-hmm.
I would never wish that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, and I was, when Ann texted me, I was busy painting and doing different things, and I didn't see the clip, and I just kept praying, and that God's will happen. And then I saw the clip, and I was like, oh, there wasn't a chance. There, I mean, maybe there was, but really, realistically, I don't know how. And it's really sad. Chicken Lady asked if it's true that Ben Shapiro will be taking over for Charlie. I mean, that's what I read.
He did say that he's gonna take the show on the road, and he's going to do different college campus events. And I know there's other people too who are like, what Charlie did is needed, and they want to continue.
And I know Greg Gutfeld was another one who was scheduled to be at least at one of them, and he said he was going to go to that anyway. And so I hope that people take up the mantle, because it's terrifying. Like, I think about, well, Ben Shapiro, he has a family and stuff too, doesn't he? And so, like, holy crap, what are you going to do? But also,
people hate his
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, did you see Trump on the Fox morning show today when he announced that? Did you see
I was listening to it. I was actually driving to Co-op, but I was able to listen to it on the radio. Mm-hmm. So I heard some of it. I didn't hear all of it.
Okay. I thought it was really good. And I would definitely say, recommend it for people to listen who haven't, because he knew Charlie Kirk pretty well. And I mean, from what it sounds like, Charlie was the kind of guy who, would kind of knows everybody and also keeps up with everybody and is very personable and, hey man, I care about you. But he was talking, first he was talking about Barron, that Barron really wanted to meet Charlie Kirk and was very impressed by him. But also that, that the panelists were saying, it's like, oh, so, what do you tell people? How do you react to this? And, some people have canceled events, and, Trump was like, you know what, you get all the security you can, and you just got to do it anyways. You just got to get out there. You can't let it stop you. You have to keep moving forward. And, that's from the guy who's had a couple assassination attempts. And with the Yankee Stadium thing, too, that, he was supposed to come out and, for 9/11. And it's like, no, you have to come out. You have to still, make an appearance. But you also have to reassure people that, we're still a country together going forward, that you cannot cower because of this.
There was something, though, that you reminded me of just now. I was listening to Fox on the way home from Co-op today, too. And they were talking to Dr. Drew Pinsky, who, it makes me laugh that he's like a person on Fox, because he was on that sex show when I was a teenager with Adam Carolla. And it's just so weird to me. But he was talking about stochastic terrorism, where they have put this rhetoric out there for so long and called these people Nazis and fascists and these different things, that he was saying, and it makes a lot of sense, that these people who believe the rhetoric, if he said, well, if you had had the chance to shoot Hitler, would you have done it? And that's how these people have started to think about these right-wing people, because that's the narrative. And so I think that, and I think it was Jasmine Crockett, I'm not certain, but one of those Democrat people was talking about it, and she was like, show me one clip where we've called for violence. And it's like, I could show you 100 clips where you called for violence. You called to go after people in restaurants and anytime you see them. And
I'd like
but when you,
the South African president slideshow, please.
mm-hmm.
Well, and
But I
think
mean,
Kamala Harris. I saw a clip that was circulating that in the she was doing a town hall and somebody asked her, "What do you say Donald Trump is a fascist?" And she said yes. Like, I'm sorry, that
it's
would
the
be,
narrative.
yeah.
And
It's like, this is
so
coming from the top of your organization.
it's, I mean, anybody who decides that they are going to take a life is despicable, and it's a horrible, horrible act. But also, there has to be accountability elsewhere. When we have people constantly calling people Nazis and fascists and comparing them to Hitler and comparing them to just the worst people you can think of, I mean, there are going to be consequences. And um,
I think it's very interesting that, I mean, just how much everything has shifted. That, I mean, I mentioned the Yankees. That the Yankees had a moment of silence. I think the Chicago Cubs did as well. But that, you know, I mean, he had a tremendous amount of influence, but also that you have these very mainstream sources that are coming out and giving condolences. I mean, even old two-tier Kier immediately popped out, "Oh, well, we all value free speech." And it's like, thank you.
I'm going to go with no, but okay.
So,
Good
but
try.
nothing ever stopped him from talking out of both sides of his mouth before. So let's just,
Yeah.
you know, let him continue still. But that it was very much a world leader thing talking about this. There was a lot of people making statements about it. Also too, again, the same friend whose brother watched so much Charlie Kirk. Apparently a lot. Okay, there's a lot of hateful videos on TikTok too. But from what she's telling me, I'm not a TikTok user. See me? Not a fan.
Me neither.
PCP. Okay, this is a, yeah. Anyways, but there's a lot of videos of people who this is kind of waking them up, that it's people realizing how nuts the left is. People who are kind of reevaluating their morals in light of this. People who are, looking at faith now that didn't before. I mean, people who either hadn't gone to church for a while or just straight up weren't religious at all. And this has been an awakening for them, and that they're, were shocked in listening to his videos, and that this has been a huge outreach that way. So, I mean, that even, like I said, even in death, what he is saying, his message is getting out.
Yeah. I cannot remember who said it, but there was a person on the Democratic side who said, if you've been thinking about leaving the party, this is your sign to go. Mm-hmm. And I was like, and I think that I was talking to a mom at co-op today, and we were talking about it, and she said, I don't understand. You used to be able to talk to Democrats and stuff. I said, I think most Democrats aren't as radicalized as they would make you believe. And I think most of them have some common sense and decency. But then you get the fringe, and that's where the issues are. And when you only cater to the fringe, it's going to alienate the people that are in the middle. The people who are just like, yeah, I think that, moms who are struggling should be able to get SNAP and different things. And,
yeah. And
we got to stop thinking that everybody is terrible. That's one thing that we have to do. Like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of gray, and we can believe what we can believe, and other people can believe differently, and we can still be kind and compassionate and find middle ground. I mean, if they're reasonable. I don't know.
Yeah. I know there's the old thing about McCarthyism that I was also again, in the middle of this, watching a lot of old William Buckley clips because that's what I do.
Yeah.
But that people were saying that the problem with McCarthyism is that he didn't distinguish well enough between communists and just plain Democrats. And it's like, well, first off, communists do like to hide themselves under Democrats, and now we have more of a problem where people with communist beliefs, of course, don't want to come out and say you're communist. And, if you say so-and-so's a communist, you're like, well, that's just McCarthyism. And then you also have the, heck yeah, I'm a communist. Aren't I a cool rebel? Which, again, often present with communists in America. But, this is a really destructive ideology, and not everyone's as good as seeing it as others. And it is collectivism. It is seeing the entire world through a lens of power struggles. It is saying that the only thing that matters in this world is power, and the only way to get power is through violence, which would create a difficult worldview to reason with. Not that individuals can't be reasoned with, but you have that kind of a background thing. Yeah.
There were a couple of cancellations I wanted to mention.
Yes.
A few.
Yes, we haven't even mentioned. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say there's a few people that got canceled. There was the person that was putting out the Red Hood comic for Marvel. They or DC Comics, not Marvel, I think. But they had one issue out. It was authored by a trans person, and apparently, I don't know what specifically they said, but apparently it was vile, and they were contracted to do at least 2 more comics, and they were canceled, and they refunded all of the retailers, and they just cut ties completely, which is amazing to me because that's a pretty stance if you think about it from a pretty big organization. And they approached it like, we don't tolerate any kind of hate, which, yeah, okay, that's good, true. And then there was, on the other side of the coin, I think Chris Pratt said something about my thoughts and prayers to the Kirk family in this horrible time. And now people are trying to get him canceled from the Marvel universe. And it's like, okay, so we can say F them all, and
would be so grateful to be canceled from the Marvel universe. He can finally step off. Yeah. It's low point right now.
Yeah. So I just those things stuck out to me. Was there something you were gonna?
No. It's important that these larger companies are, that it's no longer, there is nothing that is unacceptable about Charlie Kirk, but being conservative, we know that it's difficult to be a conservative and a Trump supporter for, the past, since Trump came down that escalator. And it's been difficult to be a conservative beforehand. And again, the rhetoric has increased. And again, it was bad in the 80s. It was bad before that. It's been bad 1930s, man. Lots of commies then. It's not as if it isn't a new thing, but there is a degree to it. There is a what ideas are mainstreamed is different. That if people had such political beliefs, they weren't often as open about it. And there does seem to be a pushback in the, no, I'm sorry, we elected Trump twice. No, this is the Trump administration. We are not going to do things like we used to. Okay. We're not going to pretend that, 31-year-old father of 2 was the bad guy for going out and talking to people and holding basic conservative and Christian beliefs. So it's, yeah. And also, I didn't mention, but okay, a lot there's a lot of videos to be emotional about this week. But this when JD Vance took uh, Charlie Kirk's casket back to Arizona on Air Force Two with the family, helped carry the casket himself. Usha was there holding Erica's hand. It really was, and it was very much a respect moment, and it was an incredibly kind moment throughout. And there was a picture afterwards of Erica holding, it was Charlie's cross necklace in her hand and kind of holding that out to people. And oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, there's a quote that I've been seeing a lot. Um, that was a Charlie Kirk quote. It's something along the lines of, you can really tell who a person is when someone dies, and
Mm-hmm.
that's not exactly what it was, but yeah, when somebody
Yeah.
dies, and you can tell by how the people act, and
Yeah.
it's really, really brought out like the very best and the absolute worst in people, and it's just, yeah. I, I don't know where we go from here, though. That's the problem. I mean, now that they've done this, is
Well,
it?
there is a danger, I think, in any time that a large tragedy happens. There is a danger. There's this sort of excitable, somebody's got to do something, which, I mean, with any political issue, a lot of people can agree on the problem. What the specific solution is, that's the sticking point. Um, but yeah, I think engaging with people, I think, again, spreading his message, and I don't know, like a lot. I mean, like I said before, a lot of people are coming to or returning to their faith through it, which again is a fantastic testimony for him.
Mhm, it is, but I don't know. And I don't know. There's just so much. It's just so sad. Chicken Lady says you continue to pray and help our neighbor. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. But I'm concerned about the people who don't necessarily share our faith or have the same viewpoint, because is this going to continue? Are they going to become emboldened? Are we going to start retaliating? I don't know. I mean, I I don't think violence is ever the answer, but how many times do you get pushed down and knocked down and called a fascist, racist, homophobe, transphobe, bigot before you get tired of it? Like, I'm just concerned that people are going to start hitting their limit, and that's not where we want to be. But I don't know how we fix it.
Mhm.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, it's difficult, and there is a certain amount. Again, people who are cheering this, people who are emboldened by this, but I mean as chicken lady just said, a little bit. I haven't seen a single burning or looting yet. It's like, yes, we are the side who keeps our heads over these things. Okay, and I'm not, and definitely, well, obviously this kind of violence exists, and this kind of violence exists against Trump and against conservatives, and we've seen it in the past years. So I'm definitely, be vigilant. And we didn't even mention, sorry, with Irina Zarutska, who was stabbed in that bus, which is awful and tragic. But okay, but the people who were near her were kind of shocked, and which is, that's shocking. A woman is stabbed in front of you, and it's very important. Some of them went to help her later, but it took a while. And again, just awful. Um, and it was also, sorry, not to get off on a tangent, but a lot of people saying we need new laws, we need new laws. I'm like, I'm sorry, the laws were not enforced because there was activist judges, okay? It's not we
Mm-hmm.
need new laws. It's like we need to enforce the law on the book, and that is the issue. That you don't want to, upend everything because you're not doing what would solve these issues, which is put repeat
Yeah.
offenders in jail. Um,
Away.
sorry, but
No.
just attaching that with the what I was saying before. Sorry, not to get on a tangent, but okay, it helps when something tragic happens that if you already have caught in your mind what you are going to do, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and that what you're going to do either to defend yourself, either to stop, either to call for help, to assist those who are weaker than you or injured, to have that in your head to do that. So when something happens, there's not that freeze. And there may be that freeze anyways, because again, it's shocking. But you
Mm-hmm.
know what, what, sorry, just um, not to quote Batman, but what is the most important thing is the will to act. Not even necessarily that you are the strongest one, but you are the person there,
Yeah.
and you are, sorry, it's like, do you have training? It's like, no, having training is awesome. Having training will totally help you in these situations. In fact, everybody should have looked up beforehand what they ought to do in these situations. But if not even so, you're the person standing there. You are, as the person standing there, you know, being prepared beforehand was on you, but going forward, acting is your job,
Mm-hmm.
um, to help out in any sort of tragic situation like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, you talking about that made me remember something though. I don't know how they're connected, but everybody's been quoting the Charlie Kirk thing about how like that because you have guns, people are going to die, and they were like, oh well, he got what he wanted or what he stood for, and I think people aren't understanding context.
mhm.
Like there are going to be tragedies if you allow people to have chainsaws. There are going to be tragedies with chainsaws or knives or freaking nail guns. Like shit happens. And it's a tool, and if people don't know how to use the tool or they choose to use it improperly, that's where the issue is. And so you were saying stand up. You might not have all the tools, but you got to do something. I
Mhm.
don't we but you get people like Daniel Penny, and would you want to go stand up and then get sent to jail because you stood up like I get it, it's hard.
Right. Which it is hard, though. I mean, Daniel Penny, being being the real dude that he was, said like, "Look, yes, this was awful for me, but still, those people could have died. That
Mhm.
people, this he was violent and he was, very mournful that, um, you know, I forget the guy's name, but that he had died." But he's like, but he could have attacked other people, and he
Mhm.
was still like, sorry it turned out the way it did, but also he would have done it again. And it is very, it's like you're, you know, even, okay, and it's the school shooting in Minnesota that, you had that boy who, what could he do? He was like 10 and he went to cover his classmate, and that was his
Mhm.
first instinct. And I believe he was just released from the hospital too. But
Yeah,
it's, he said the will to act there.
here this is um Deanna was a CPR instructor, and to help people get past, they didn't want to do it wrong or make it worse. We used to explain that you can't make them any deader, but you might be able to help them live.
Mhm.
And that's hard because yeah, you don't want to do something wrong. You don't want to. I mean, if you happen between a guy with a knife and the person he's stabbing, you could get hurt, you could get dead. But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. You could also make her less dead or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to say. But
anyways, yeah, Wombat says nearly every quote from Charlie that liberals use is completely taken out of context. Yeah.
mm-hmm. Well, and I understand that thing about the guns. Yeah, there are going to be accidents and shootings and stuff because people are people. But his point was that it's still worth it to have, because the quote goes on to talk about how it's not about being able to defend yourself against other people. It's about being able to stand up to tyranny in your government. And that's why it's so important. And that was something he believed. So it's not.
Yeah. And again, there's a lot of sort of floating different legal ideas. It's like, oh, well, because of this, we should implement this and that law. Yeah, most of them, it's like, no, you do not want more government overreach. I mean, definitely you want, criminals. Again, it's like with guns, with red flag laws. How many shootings have we had where there have been red flags laws and there have been plenty of red flags and nobody's done anything? But yeah, it's more the freeing of regulations that we need than more.
A law is not any use if you don't enforce it. So if you're in New York and we have bail reform and nobody's held after they commit a crime and stuff, what is the consequence? If I go do something illegal and I have to go stand in front of a judge and the judge is like, oh, well, there's no bail, you get to go home, I could flee. I could do anything I want to. I could go commit more crimes. So yeah, having more law is not the answer. The answer is making things actually have consequences. You know?
Yeah. Oh, and sorry. We are a knitting podcast. So we should, maybe, I don't know. It's in the air. But I should probably, Neil was live earlier today and he mentioned Autumn of Size Inclusive Collective that she had been making lists of
another list. Let's circulate lists of people. That makes sense.
Yeah. People love lists. But yeah, that it was a list of anybody. It's like, well, anybody who's conservative, but basically anybody who had condolences towards the Kirk family. And that was too much to have had condolences. And I saw a bit of that thread when people were upset about seeing so much of Charlie Kirk's face on their feed, that it should be like some covered like a trigger warning. And it's like, you're showing Dracula the Cross or something.
Look at how sad this is.
Oh no.
It's like a crazy commercial yarn. Someone says that they totally started following people on that list and that Book Talk is doing it also. I mean, yeah, a lot of the internet is pretty liberal and that's what we're going to see, but also we don't have to. Yeah. We don't have to be involved. We don't have to champion those things. I like to also follow the people on the list. That always makes me feel better.
So I know, it's like finding new friends. Get excited.
It's actually how we found a lot of them.
So yeah,
I may have found you from that first list. Honestly, I don't quite remember, but I think so.
Yeah, so. I don't think I do the second list. See, I always get offended by that. No, I want to be on it. But Renee,
sometimes accusing us of trying to be relevant again. We are always as relevant as we are, and we aren't going out of our way. We're just going to keep doing what we do, and we're happy you guys hang out with us because,
But Renee, feel free to send the book list.
Mhm.
If you,
Yeah. So it's been pretty long.
Mhm.
And I hear my husband moving things around because he's apparently working again. So I'm going to go help him with our. I don't like renovating. I don't like any of this nonsense. Hopefully, someday my life will be normal again and I can sit in my happy chair and knit. But right now, it is what it is. Yeah, so we are sponsored by Chicken Lady Fiber Arts. She is
We
very
are.
cool. We like her. I don't know if she's still in the chat, but she was. And you can go to her website, which is chickenladyfiberarts.com, and you can get 20% off of your order of $50 or more by using the code PIK Kung Pao, because she was hungry when she made this list and it's all about food. I could go for some
All
Kung
about
Pao.
chicken.
Yeah, right? Be so good. But check her out. She's got great yarns. Anne was saying that some of her bases that she's retiring are in her last chat section, which means you could get a little bit extra something off of that. So who doesn't love that? Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment. Leave a comment because you'll be entered to win yarn, but also leave a comment because you guys interacting helps other conservatives find our knitting channel. And who doesn't like that? I mean, really.
Exactly.
So, I mean, Anne and I have to try to stay relevant somehow. So, but yeah, if you comment on when this is done, you'll be entered to win that yarn that Anna's holding, which is Mountain Bluebird?
Is Eastern Bluebird, Mountain Bluebird,
Eastern Bluebird.
Eastern Bluebird.
There's a couple of Bluebird colorways. They're both very lovely. So, yeah. So I think that is all.
Check it out.
Yes.
And
Just
like I said,
the thing for, yeah.
a lot
Okay.
of link yarn made in the USA.
Made in the USA, dyed by the chicken lady herself. Ooh, and it's getting cold. Her husband does the socks.
Mhm.
So, like, if you want to have some nice, cozy socks,
Also works on socks.
you can do that. Oh, there she is. She says, hit the like button. See, friends? We support Chicken Lady. She supports us. That's how this works here.
Beautiful relationship.
Oh, Iris, sorry you missed us. We'll see you next time. I hope you catch the replay.
I know.
The code made me hungry. Me too. I didn't have supper tonight. My husband ate my leftovers. It was a sad day. But anyway. So thanks for joining us today, guys. We'll see you next week and have a good one. All right.
See you then.
All right. Bye, everyone.